Hello friends, welcome to my channel Analytics Mantra.
Today we will talk about automation in Excel using Python library. We will be using openpyxl library in order to automate the functions and in order to automate all the operations that we will be using in this section. Let me open a new Jupyter notebook. So firstly, what we have to import, we have to import the openpyxl library and few components inside it. So we will be using the command from openpyxl import workbook and load workbook. Load workbook is used to basically read or open the existing workbook. Now it has been imported. After that, we will be checking like what is our current directory. We will be checking using the pwd command. Now it is saying this is our current directory, but I want to create a new folder or I want to place the files in the another folder. So basically, let us suppose if I am using this folder. So if we have to change the directory path, then we will be using the OS library. Then for that we have to import it first. Now we have imported the OS library. After that, we will be using the csdir function change directly basically in order to change the path of the directory in which we will be working on. And if you are working on Windows, then you will have to use the double slash in order to enter the correct path. Otherwise, it will give a error. Now the path has been changed. How you will check that? Using the pwd command. Now you can see earlier the path was C users Tanya. Now it has been changed to C users Tanya downloads and Python exercise. So now our firstly we will create a fresh workbook. As of now you can see there is no workbook in the current folder. So we will be creating using the workbook function. As you know, basically if you will create a new workbook, the default sheet is present in there. How you will check that? Using the sheet names function. Now you can see there is one existing sheet over there, but still you are not able to see it in the current folder. Then you have to save this workbook using save function. Let us suppose I want to name it as XLSX. Now you can see XLSX exercise workbook has been created with an XLSX format and the sheet name is sheet. Now you can run the same function again in order to check the sheet names. It has been created and you saw that it was there in the workbook. But now I want to create another worksheet in the same workbook. Then we will be using the create sheet function. For that we will be using an object that we have created for the workbook wb and then create sheet. Now you have to enter the sheet name. You have to pass it as a parameter. Now two sheets have been created, sheet and sheet 2. Let's check with the function sheet names. Now you can see both the sheets have been created. But if I want to replace the name of a sheet of an existing sheet, then we will be assigning an object to it. Basically, how you will assign an object? This way. Now, if you want to change the title of the worksheet, you will be using the title and then like exercise worksheet. If I want to check whether the name has been changed or not, yes, you can see the exercise worksheet is the new name for the sheet 2. Now you have to save this operation, save this command in order to check whether it has been implemented in our workbook or not. You have to give the same name that we have passed earlier. Now you can see there are two sheets in this workbook, that is one is sheet and another one is sheet worksheet, exercise worksheet. So let me jump to the next operation. What we will do, we'll check whether we do have any value in that or not. So in order to check that, let us suppose ws is the object that we have defined for worksheet 2. So for this object, what we will say, let us suppose we'll check the value at a1. So we will be using the print function for that. There is no value. But now if I want to enter any new value in that, how I will do that? Using the same command. It is the first cell. Now I have to save the operation in the workbook. I have to pass the format also along with it. Now you will open the exercise book and you can see this has been populated. Now I want to append any information just beyond to the cursor. So what I will do like ws.append. Now I will pass the list, like Python is the Python is a good language. You can enter anything that you want. Each element will go to the different cell. Let us suppose if I am passing this operation multiple times. Now I am saving the workbook. This has not been created, but how? Let me pass it again. Oh, it is throwing an error because my workbook was open at that time. Now I had closed the workbook, and now you will try to execute this command, then it will save all the operations. Now I will again open this worksheet, and then you can see this has been updated. So from here you conclude that if you are performing any operation on the workbook or the worksheets, you have to save the workbook. Now what I'm trying to say, let us suppose, let me open the worksheet and I want to populate few values in these columns, let us suppose. So first of all, what I have to do, I have to create an object for the sheet. So I will be using this now the object has been created for sheet. Now I want to perform an operation over here for row n. You can pass any range over here as per your convenience. If I want to fetch, like, what is the column name, as you know, like the cell values are referenced as a1, a2, a3, b1, b2, b3. So in order to do that, we will fetch the column letter. We will be using the get column letter function in order to retrieve the column name. Now I am updating the values in the cell. But in order to use this operation, in order to use this function, we have to define it, and that resides in the utilities in openpyxl. So if we will execute this as it is, then it will throw an error that get column letter is not defined. So what we'll do, we'll go to this cell. Let us suppose, in order to enter a new cell, we'll select this cell and press enter A, and then we will be importing that function or a component. Now it has been imported, and if you will again run the same commands, it will not throw an error. Yes. Now I have to save the workbook. wp dot save exercise dot xlsx. You can save it with another name, and it will perform it as a save as function. Means if I will pass it as exercise 1, then it will create a new workbook with this name. Means it will basically reiterate the operation as save as command, but I will keep the same name in order to avoid any confusion. It is saying, it is throwing an error. Why? Because my file is open at other end. So you can see, first I have to close it in order to save any operation in my workbook. Now if I will see whether it has been populated or not. Yes, now you can see it has been populated. Now I will close this. Now the last thing we'll talk about, how to remove the worksheet from the workbook. We'll be using for that I have to check the sheet names. wb dot sheet names. The first sheet is named as sheet and another worksheet is named as exercise worksheet. Let us suppose if I want to remove the sheet 1, basically this sheet. Now you can see like it has been removed. How you will check that? You have to first of all save this operation. Now you can see the worksheet sheet has been removed from this workbook. This is how you can remove any worksheet using Python. That's all for today's session. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this session.